Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys have been asking for this video for a while now, and I think it's gotten to a point where some of you guys have actually DM'd me on Discord saying, hey SMG, I need a Noob to Pro guide, right? Because I don't know what to do. And of course, since so many of you are asking for that video, that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to be explaining every single step, so then that's where you guys can go from Noob all the way to Pro. So yeah, I'm not going to waste your guys' time because this is probably going to be quite a long video. Just going to quickly say, if you do end up enjoying it, want to see more, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button with notifications on. And yeah, once you're done with all of that, buckle up because this is going to be a very nice video. But wait just a moment, before we jump into today's video, I want to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, Anime Legends. Now, what exactly is so special about this game? Well, it takes the best parts from all your favorite animes, for example, Soul Leveling. I know how much you guys love Soul Leveling, and especially some of the characters. Like, for example, as you guys can see, Igris is on screen right now, and he's looking so badass. And the best part is that he's not even the only character. Other fan favorites like Iron, you know, the guy with the big shield and whatnot, and as well even the statue from the very first episode, everything is gonna be there. And by the way, let's just say you're not the biggest fan about Soul Leveling, don't worry, there are gonna be a bunch of other animes in this game as well, for example Dragon Ball. So yeah, if any of this interests you, make sure to join their Discord server. It is going to be up on screen and as well linked in the description. Once again, thank you so much Anime Legends for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the guide. Alright, so first things first, let's start off from the very beginning. So let's say you just joined the game for the very first time and like you have no pets, nothing at all. Like of course forget my team right now, but let's say you're starting off with like E-rank Songdoos or like something like that. So this is what you guys exactly want to do. You want to go ahead and get yourself strong enough. So like, for example, you start fighting these enemies, you know, arising them and whatnot. Get yourself a team, whether it's like E-rank, D-rank, I don't know, until you're eventually strong enough in order to take on the brutes. Now the brutes of course are very tanky, especially at the beginning. They have 130k HP, meaning that you are going to have to probably spend quite a long time on them, but hey, it will be worth it because I'm pretty sure they're guaranteed like D rank units. And in case you guys don't already know, the higher the rank, the higher their level can be. For example, E rank has a maximum, I believe, of like level 25 or something like that. Then D rank is like level 50, C rank is level 75. You kind of get the point. Every rank equals plus 25 levels on each of your units. But yeah, once you go ahead and you're strong enough in order to get at least a few D ranks from, let's say, the Slongen, for example, the next step is going to be joining the Arise Discord server. Now, why would I be saying that, right? Because I'm kind of like leading you off the game, but trust me, it is for a good cause and is going to be worth it even when you get to Endgame. Now, I'm of course talking about the game dungeon section. Now, how this section works is that every single time a dungeon pops up, which is like I believe every 30 minutes, they will go ahead, they will post the exact location on the exact island and what type of dungeon it is, so that that's way you guys don't have to, you know, run around and, you know, have to play hide and seek with the dungeon portals. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Pretty much this is going to be saving you a bunch of time, and you are going to be using it in order to find out whether there is going to be any good dungeons in the very first world. And the very first world, by the way, is going to be the leveling city. And oh yeah, by the way, for those of you that are wondering, hey SMG, what's the order of the maps? Well, you can check over here in the index, right? Because it will be from top to bottom, top being the worst island and then the bottom being the best island. So yeah, you guys can kind of get the idea. Plus as well, they also tell you which ones are going to be the strongest like units of that map. For example, in the leveling city, Largalan is the best. Ignore the Ant Soldier, by the way, and these ones for the time being. But yeah, Largalan's going to be the strongest normal enemy. Then in the Grass Village is going to be the Black Crow, Light Admiral for Brum Island. And yeah, you guys kind of get the point. But anyways, pretty much when you're in the Arise Discord server, you do want to go ahead and you want to wait until eventually a good dungeon opens up, whether it's going to be C rank, B rank, A rank, or hey, maybe even S rank. And then you want to keep on doing those dungeons until you have a team of maybe Longins all the way up to Lagerland. Like, you kind of want to get at least maybe A rank or S rank of these units. And what I mean by that is, let's say I put it to like max level, right? Let's say I put it, you know, max level, which is 175 for an A rank. It is going to be 159 million DPS. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be exactly A rank. I mean, it could be B rank, maybe even C rank, but that's pushing it a little bit. Basically, what I'm trying to say, right, is that you want to be at least go ahead and get yourself like your DPS into at least the millions and as close to the billions as possible. And awesome, just like that, you guys are now done with the very first world, meaning that we can move on to the next step. Now, the next step is going to be traveling on over to one of the islands that isn't really exactly on the index. It's kind of like a quote-unquote secret island. Now, how exactly do you get to that island? Well, there are two methods. Number one, you can use a code to get yourself a boat. Now, of course, if you're watching this video like weeks and weeks from now, then it might be expired. But if it isn't, try using coffin code, and then that is going to be giving you a free mount. And then if you're not able to use this code, then just go ahead, head on over to the boat shop and just buy yourself a boat. I mean, they're relatively cheap. 500 gems for this one, 3.5k cash for this one, and I think the most expensive one is this one for 15k. Well, yeah, once you go ahead and get this boat, for example, I'm just going to quickly go ahead and equip this boat just like so. You then want to head on over between this island, the Jeju island, and the Lucky Kingdom. So yeah, make sure you angle yourself in between these two and just head on straight until eventually you're going to reach the island. Now, there is actually a logo that pops up sometimes, but you need to be in the server for quite a long time. But yeah, even if there's no logo, I pretty much explained how to get here. Now, once you arrive at this island, right, pretty much every single, I believe it is hour, and when I say hour, I mostly mean when this number, forget these two numbers, right, when this number says 15, that's when the Jeju Island raid is going to begin. Now, what exactly happens in this raid? Well, pretty much, you're gonna want to ignore, by the way, this big mountain. The big mountain is like a bit endgame, so ignore it. And rather, instead, focus on all of the little ants that are going to spawn. And just so then you guys know what I mean, I'm talking about the ant soldiers. Now, straight away, these ant soldiers are really useful. Let me tell you why. Because let's say you have an A rank Longin, right? You have an A rank Longin, he's level 175, which is a max for his rank. Well, yeah, he's gonna be doing 159 million damage. However, when it comes to these ant soldiers at the exact same rank, by the way, so let's say we do A rank, hold on, let me just quickly put on A rank, and then level 175, as you can see, he is going to be doing almost 4 times the damage. Now, do keep in mind that this step is going to be one of the grindiest parts of the game. Now, let me tell you why. When the Jeju Island raid starts, there's going to be a bunch of ants spawning around the island, right? You can't miss them. There's going to be like, I'm pretty sure like 50 or 60 of them. However, out of all of those ants, there's only going to be like a few of them which are going to be S rank. Yes, that's right, on this island every single rank pretty much spawns. Like, it could be E rank your ants and as well S rank. Now, how do you tell the difference? Well, you're going to tell the difference by their HP. For example, E rank is going to be having a really low amount of HP, whilst S ranks are going to be around the trillions of HP range. But yeah, when you do go ahead and find these S ranks, make sure you at least have maybe A rank ants first, because as I mentioned, when they get max level, they are definitely going to be helping you defeat them. Plus as well, they have trillions of HP, which is, going to take a while if you don't have, at least A rank ants. So yeah, just grind your way up really slowly. For example, first get D rank ants and then upgrade to C rank, B rank, A rank. And then eventually, you're going to be able to get S rank ants. Now, just letting you know, by the way, S rank ants, only like, I think 4 of them spawn around this whole island. So do keep that in mind. However, there is a little bit of a trick to kind of like, bypass that. Since a lot of people don't really focus that much on the S rank ants, you could technically just server hop once you go ahead and take out all of the ants on this island. Meaning that within the same time frame, you could technically go ahead and get yourself, if let's say you got all 4 4 of them, then you could maybe get another 4 or maybe even 8. I guess it all depends on whether you server hop really fast, you're efficient in finding them. So then that's why you could get as many S rank ants as possible. Now we aren't done just yet, ladies and gentlemen, because once you go ahead and get yourself a bunch of S rank ants, you are going to actually want to go ahead and upgrade them once again, but this time from S rank all the way up to SS rank. Now, how exactly do you do that? Well, you need to head back on over to the leveling city. Pretty much at the leveling city, right, there's going to be a little bit of a machine called the Shadow Upgrader. In this case, it is going to be found right over here. Then in order to make an S rank, you are going to be needing one of every single rank of the same shadow. So for example, you're going to be needing example E rank Songdu, D rank Songdu, but of course ant soldiers in this case. And then once you go ahead and get every single one of these slots filled, you will get a button saying, hey, you can make it SS rank. Now SS ranks are going to be pretty much like a must-have in this game. In fact, if I go ahead and quickly showcase their stats really quick, so SS and then the max level, which I believe is like let's just do 300 because it will max out. Yeah, 225. As you can see, it is going to be doing each of them 48 billion damage. Now I'm sure you guys might be asking, all right, SMG, 48 billion damage. What on earth am I going to be needing 48 billion damage for? Well, that is actually going to be back once again at the Ant Island, because remember when I said you ignore the mountain? Well, now it's time to go in. And basically how this works is when the Jeju Island starts, pretty much there is going to be like a queen ant in the middle over here, and it's kind of like a mini game where you have to take out her guards and then you need to damage her a bit, take out her guards again, and you kind of just have to repeat the process over and over until you take her out. And then from there, once you take out the queen ant, the ant king is going to spawn. Now this ant king has quadrillions and quadrillions of HP, but don't worry, in order to get kill credit on him, you only need to do 30 trillion damage, which once you have a full team of the SS rank ants, that isn't going to be that hard. Like, it is of course going to be taking like a solid maybe a minute or two, but hey, at least you're getting kill credit. And then from there, since everyone is interested in the ant trade, then yeah, you should be able to get carried, because someone will come in here with a ton of DPS, probably like 3 hit him, and then yeah, you'll get kill credit, you'll be able to arise him, and that's when you'll go ahead and unlock yourself the SS rank Ziru. And oh yeah, by the way, just letting you know, ladies and gentlemen, once you get your very first SS rank Ziru, things are going to speed up by like 100 times, right? Because this singular SS rank Ziru has 600 billion DPS, meaning that you getting kill credits is going to be like much faster and much easier. Now, you do want to repeat this process until you get a full team of at least SS rank Zirus. However, there is actually something that you can kind of do on the side if you want to. And that is going to be once again heading back on over to the main island, and is actually going to be doing some rank ups. Now, what are rank ups? Well, you do know that there is like this rank button over here next to your usernames. Well, yeah, pretty much in the game there are player ranks, and every single rank that you get is going to be like a ton and a ton of extra damage. For example, heading back on over to the island, once you go ahead and get to the main spawn area, just go straight, then left, and then you see this building over here, the one with the logo of the studio that made this game. Well, yeah, all you want to do is just walk inside and then just go into this elevator. Then from there, just head on over straight until eventually you turn right, and then from there, turn left, and then yeah, this is where you'll find the rank test. Now, I'm sure I don't really need to explain this that much, but just in case, how it works is that there are going to be a bunch of dungeon rooms, and then from there you just need to take them out within 10 minutes, and then of course the higher rank that you go for, the harder the enemies are going to be. However, in the end, it's going to be worth it, because once you get to an OP rank like mine, you are probably getting like 4 times your damage. That's how much they stack up. But anyways, now that you know how to get that little bit extra damage, and you've grinded all the way up to getting a full team of SS rank Zirus and obviously max them out, then you can move on to step 2, which is going to be 2 ways actually. There's 2 ways you can do this. One of them is going to be you either continue doing the ant trade over and over until eventually you get a G rank Ziru. And by the way, just to let you all know how you get a G rank Ziru, it is basically a really low drop chance to like get dropped whenever you take out the Ant King. And oh yeah, just to compare stats, this is an SS rank Ziru with almost 600 billion DPS. This one has like what? 10x more, yeah, 10x more damage, meaning that this singular G rank is worth 10 SS zeros. But here, hold on, let's say you're struggling to get it, right? Maybe you've been AFK on this singular spot for days and days straight and you just can't seem to get it. Well, there is technically another method, but I'm not sure some of you guys would like it. And that is going to involve the AFK rewards. Now, what I mean by that is if I just quickly teleport on over, there is actually a really low drop chance in order to get the 0G from just AFKing in here. Now, I'm sure you guys might be asking, wait, SMG, couldn't I technically do this? Like from the beginning of the guide? Like, why didn't you mention AFK here at the beginning of the guide? Because technically, a new player can come in here, you know, they would have just started the game, AFK here until they got 0G, and yeah, then they technically skip all of the progression that I've spoke about till now. However, in my opinion, that kind of ruins the fun of it, right? Plus as well, it's basically like saying, hey, I can't play the game, right, until the game gives me something lucky. Like, of course, you guys are playing this game for the fun of it, right? You're not playing it for any other reason. But yeah, just letting you know, if you don't want to AFK much in the main game, let's say you keep on disconnecting, well, there is the AFK chamber, so if you do want to go ahead and AFK for it here, then it is an option. And oh yeah, by the way, just to point out, the reason that it's 0.2% and it might be 0.1% when you watch this video is because there's a 2x event going on right now. That's why it has double the chances. But anyways, once you guys eventually get a G rank 0, oh wait, actually, wait. There is technically a third method to getting a G rank 0. Now, I do want to point out, by the way, this method is not permanent. It might actually happen within the next... It could start in a day and last a week. I don't know. But basically what I'm trying to say is that in the Discord server, they did announce that they are going to be adding a free G rank Beru code, but you are going to be needing to get S rank from the player ranks that I showcased before. So yeah, you can't just join a game and immediately use the code. You do actually have to grind a little bit. But as I mentioned, codes aren't permanent in this game, meaning that if you're watching this video 4 weeks from now or a month from now, it might be expired. But yeah, at least you guys know about the code that is going to be coming soon. Now, where is this code? It's not out yet, just pointing it out, but they will announce it over here inside of the Discord server, and if not, I'll make a video on it. So yeah, if you want to like and subscribe with notifications on so then you don't miss that, then feel free to do so. But anyways, enough of all of that. Let's say you got one G rank 0, because in my opinion, around one of them is going to be enough. You then basically want to head on over to the very final island of the map, or at least as of right now, and that is going to be the Jeju world. Now, in this world, there is a lot to do, and that is mostly going to be working on money, since in this game, you need to grind a lot of money. So then that way, you can go ahead and get yourself this sword. Now, why is this sword so important? Why is it so broken? Well, as you can see, this singular sword is better than a G rank 0. And oh yeah, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, you can technically combine swords in this game. So when you go ahead and buy that sword for the first time, it is going to be an E rank sword. And then when you get 3 of them, you can combine them to D rank, and then 3 of D ranks to C rank, 3 C ranks to B rank. And then you just repeat the process over and over until you get, you know, the max rank, which is going to be SS. Now, I am really close to that, but I'm not going to be explaining too much about it in today's video. I'm just basically saying that you need to go ahead and get yourself this weapon as soon as possible. But wait, SMG, okay, I need to get the sword, right? So how exactly do I do that? Well, there are technically many methods you can do. One of them is AFKing in the middle, where, you know, everyone's AFKing, and try to get kill credit on the enemy. Since in case if you guys didn't know, there is going to be a boss that spawns over here, and then, you know, once you go ahead and, you know, take him out, he's going to be dropping a lot of money. But let's say you aren't strong enough to get kill credit, because kill credit requires like a few 100 trillion damage, then you can go ahead and just focus on working on the small enemies. For example, these Diablos, they only have 360 trillion HP, which shouldn't be too difficult, especially if you have a G rank by now. And then basically you just want to AFK as long as it's going to take until eventually you're able to get this sword. Well, not this specific sword, but where is it? This, but as an E rank. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, you have now practically reached endgame at this point, like the point that most of the player base has reached by now. So what exactly does that mean from this point onwards? Well, once you are strong enough, you basically want to kind of repeat this process over and over until eventually you're able to craft this like S rank sword. Because when you reach that amount of strength, then yeah, this is going to be really easy. Like, trust me, no enemies are going to be standing in your way. In fact, if I quickly head on over here to where this one of these bosses are, and I just, you know, start punching him, yeah, as you saw, I 3-shot him. That's how crazy your DPS can get. But anyways, just like that, we have now reached the end of the guide. Now, does that mean you know absolutely everything? No, because on my channel, actually, which by the way, I'm not trying to promote anything, but it's true. On my channel, there are a bunch of different like guides and whatnot about like other factors of the game. For example, what game passes you should get, some money-making methods. So yeah, I'm not trying to shamelessly plug my channel in here right now. I'm just telling you all the truth. There are some useful guides here that will help you, especially once you reach endgame. But yeah, apart from that though, that's pretty much the guide all wrapped up. Once again, hope you enjoyed it and found it really helpful. If you did, of course, you know exactly what to do. Show some love down below by hitting that like and subscribe button, and as well, feel free to comment down below any questions you guys might have, because I have a feeling that some of you are probably going to get a bit confused, because sometimes even I get a little bit confused in this game. So yeah, if you do have any questions, maybe it's regarding some money-making methods, or maybe it's regarding something else, I don't know, whatever it's gonna be, feel free to ask it down below. Usually I answer all comments. And yeah, until next time, I'm gonna continue grinding money, because I'm not even maxed out in this game yet. I still have some work to do. So yeah, peace out everybody.